in a second you realize that it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you have 25 people in your apartment, no one left on a Sunday, everyone is still cooking / eating / discussing. You get empowered. So I don't know if it's the thing that I most got out of DNS, but like definitely things that I leave from DNS with like strongly is the possibility and the ability to do something. Because I was studying before in university, which gave me a lot. And but living in a city and with a very shrink group of like friends, of people, sometimes what you do, how much you contribute to the place where you are, can be very little, and that was my reality at least. And coming here, being in a group of people, in a community, in a collective, where suddenly you have challenges and tasks that you wouldn't do naturally, but then you need to learn how to do. And when you learn how to do that it empowers you. And I think that's one thing that I will bring definitely with me. And being with so many people 24/7, needing to find solutions for your whatever challenges, struggles, problems, needing to dream together, and dreaming together, creating somehow utopias, like a vision, utopia as a method, where to go, where are you going to direct yourself? Not utopia to reach it necessarily, but to drive you somewhere. And I think that was something that I didn't have in my life before, and that I didn't imagine how important it is for a teacher. Because if a teacher loses hope, who is going to hope then? If the teachers are the one who are bringing something. And I think DNS definitely gave me that. I think to bring my human surplus, that's one thing, like to be available. And to be able to recognize that there is a need and that I have the surplus to also support that need. I think that's a skill that not many people necessarily have or know how to use it, because we all have surplus, but sometimes we are not able to step back on our own egos and also understand how much a common need will benefit you and how much you can benefit that common need. So I think that's one. Then the other is like organizational skills, moderating. I think that's something that you really learn in DNS when you have a team of 14 people, and then, well, you need to have meetings where maybe some conflicts might emerge, and then in order to ground again the things and to discuss properly, you need to moderate, and sometimes you are in both sides in creating the conflict, which actually is very useful as well as a skill, because you need to be able to spot and bring out the conflicts to be talked through. And it is also not something that we might used to do. I was not used to do before I come to DNS. To have an issue, to see that there is something that needs something, and to provoke conflicts, I think is a skill, a very necessary skill, in the sense to bring it up to discuss, as much as sometimes to moderate and ground the things, and in whatever collective, in whatever group of people that are trying to do something, you need to know how to communicate with people. You need to know how to create these dynamics, how to be part of these dynamics and read them as well. And another point that I think I can contribute in what I took from DNS is the fact of going after what you actually like and bring it back to people. Not just go after your passions, but I make something out of it to others, because we need passionate people. We need passionate people, and here if you're not passionate about what you're doing, even your small hobby, and you don't bring it to the team, you don't bring it to the community, it's lost in yourself and outside. But then if suddenly, like, what you most love, being dance, being yoga, being drawing, being building, being whatever it is, if then you explore that and you bring it to the collective, there are others that can benefit from that. But the starting point is that you are passionate about that, and you do it, you bring it to others. I think like people normally get surprised when I say which period moved me more, because they're expecting like African study travel or something like this. But the one that moved me more was actually European reality. You are coming back to a setting that you knew, and that before you had certain habits, certain lifestyle, but now you were with 10 other people in an apartment with a different goal than the one that you had before. And what mostly impacted me is actually to see that it's possible to have a different lifestyle in a city, one that I didn't imagine. Because when I came to DNS here and we are surrounded by nature, somehow it's much easier to feel connected to many things, to people, to nature, when you are in the middle of a big city where you need to go to work 8 hours per day. You are tired, you have double shift sometimes. Like the surplus is much less. It's easy to disconnect, it's easy to get in the crowd, to get lost by the advertisements and follow actually what all the area leads you to. The consuming aspect of a city, the alienated aspect of the city, of not seeing people, it's not something normal that you sit in a cafe alone and you go to talk with someone. No, it's like each person isn't on their own. And to deconstruct that way of being and create a new one, for me was like, so it's possible. So I don't need to go to the middle of nowhere to actually have a collective life, to do something with people. Then we were doing open houses, so we were literally opening the door of our houses to guests that we met throughout our works in the middle of the street, in whatever event, and we were doing different activities, cinemas, discussions, debates, brunch, like with collected food that was going to be trashed. And when suddenly on the Sunday morning people come at 9 o'clock to start to cook with you, and throughout the week some of them went to get food in the city with you, to markets that were going to trash the food, and in a second you realize that it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you have 25 people in your apartment, no one left on a Sunday, everyone is still cooking / eating / discussing. You get empowered. And they were not my friends. They were not a group of friends that I could call, oh, I have a party, I'm going to do something. No, it was a bunch of random people that wanted to do something different, to sparkle their days, to network, to get some hope, to get some dreams up. And for me that was the beauty of that period. It's a big direction, a future direction, and then I would like to join or create something in a city where it could change the dynamics that we know nowadays. Because I truly believe that the city is a place where we need to act, because it's where we have the mass of people, is where it's so easy to get absorbed, it's so easy to forget ourselves, it's so easy to forget others, it's so easy. So it means that there is an urgent need to bring people together there. And then in which molds, in which forms, then I don't know. I guess it depends on the city, I guess it depends on the people, but that's a big next point.